Hi kids! Welcome to our lesson for today. So remember last time we talked about how Daniel and his friends were chosen to be advisors, and this meant that they were going to give the king information, and when the king asked a question, they were the ones who were going to answer and tell him what to do. And because they had been chosen to be advisors, they were going to get special treatment from the people of Babylon. They were going to eat the best food and have the best wine, and they would be treated so well. But Daniel and his friends remembered about God and about God's ways. Even though they were far away from home, they still remembered about God and God's ways. And they asked to have a simple life where they will have a simple diet, eating only vegetables and fruits. So they ate only vegetables and fruits, and they did that for the 3 years that they were learning how to be advisors.
So for the 3 years they were learning, Daniel and his friends were very hardworking. They worked very hard in school and they became top in their class.
Yes.
And Daniel had a special gift that God had given him. He had the ability to interpret dreams. And the people from Babylon knew that if you are able to interpret dreams, then you can see the future. So the wise men in Babylon, they used to read huge books and big books for them to be able to interpret dreams.
Yes, but Daniel was able to interpret. He was able to explain dreams and give the meaning behind a dream. He was able to tell you dreamt this, it means this. And he was able to do this because it was a gift from God. Now, when they had finished studying, remember they were always the best in school and they were always number one. And when they had finished studying in school, it was time for them to be introduced to the king. So the king was going to meet his new advisors, and his new advisors were going to meet the king. So when they went before the king was most impressed with Daniel and his friends. And his friends were called Shadrack, Meshack, and Abednego. And the king liked Daniel and his friends more than anyone else. They're the ones who made him the most happy. They were the ones who gave him the best advice. So he invited them to live at the palace with him. And whenever he needed to know something, it was Daniel, Shadrach, Meshack, and Abednego who were called, and they were the ones who told the king what he needed to hear.
Daniel, Shadrach, Meshack, and Abednego, they were absent, and the king had a dream. So he quickly called the wise men and all the advisors, and he told them, I am very worried because I had a dream and I do not know what it means. I don't know what the dream means.
So the advisor said, tell us your dream and we will explain it to you. Remember, Daniel, Shadrach, Meshack, and Abednego, the best advisors, they are not there. They are absent. So the king told his advisors, after they said, tell us your dream and we'll explain it, the king said, no, you need to tell me what my dream was. And then you need to explain my dream to me. Then the advisors were so confused and horrified. This was such an impossible thing. How are we supposed to know what you dreamt? And then you want us to also explain it on top of that? The advisors were horrified. This was so impossible. Then the advisor said, Your Majesty, tell us your dream and we will explain it to you. Then the king got upset and angry, and he said, you're just trying to waste my time. You don't know what you're telling me. You're just trying to waste my time and get more time for yourself. Either you tell me what my dream was, and then you tell me what my dream meant, or I will have all of you killed. But then the advisor said, Your Majesty, there is no one in the entire world who can do what you ask. And the king said, fine, then all of my wise men and advisors should be killed. Now Daniel and his friends, remember, they were absent. They were not there. Then someone comes and tells them, Daniel, Shadrach, Meshack, Abednego, you are all going to die because you are the king's advisors, and the king has said that all his advisors must die. So next time, we'll see what happens to Daniel and his friends and the advisors. But children, today our lesson is that no matter what is going on around us, no matter where we are or who our teachers are or who everyone around us is or what they're doing or what they're saying, we should always be able to work hard and do our best. Because remember, Daniel and his friends, they were in a different land, they missed their home, there were all of these new teachers, but still they were able to do their best because they had the mind of God. And the same way Daniel and his friends had the mind of God, we also have the mind of God. So we should always be able to do our best no matter what. So it's time for us to sing our song. So everyone stand up and help us sing this song. Okay, we've just talked about Daniel and his friends and how they were the best at everything. Number one in class, top of their class, they were excellent at everything. Even though they were far from home, they had all these new teachers and these new people and this new place that they had to get used to, they were still able to be top and work hard. And in the same way, we need to be top and work hard because we have the mind of Christ. So now we are gonna sing a song that says, I can think about good things because I have God. So everyone stand up and help us sing this song. I can think about what is true, think about what is right, think about good things. I can think about what is true, think about what is right, think about good things. When you're scared or mad, worried or sad, let God change the way you think. When you're scared or mad, worried or sad, let God change the way you think. I can think about what is true, think about what is right, think about good things. I can think about what is true, think about what is right, think about good things. When you're scared or mad, worried or sad, let God change the way you think. When you're scared or mad, worried or sad, let God change the way you think. I can think about what is true, think about what is right, think about good things. I can think about what is true, think about what is right, and think about good things. I can think about what is true, think about what is right, think about good things. Yay! Okay, kids, it's time to do our craft. Now, we've just learned about how we should always have the mind of Christ, and no matter what it is that we're doing, no matter what is going on around us, we should always work hard and try our best because we have the mind of Christ. So what we're going to make here is we're going to make headphones. We're going to make a brain hat. And whenever we look at this hat, we can put it on and remember that we should always have the mind of Christ. So we have different color of manila paper. The first one we have cut into the shape of a brain and we have drawn the brain. So we're going to color this brain. Whenever we look at it, we'll remember to always have the mind of Christ. Then this is going to help us form our heart. So it's going to go over our heads. Yeah. Okay. So first things first, let's color our brains. So pick your brains. We have two brains that's supposed to go on each side of our head. Pick your colors and color your brains. Okay, So once we have both of our brains colored, next thing I need you to do is I need you to write down where this story comes from. So we're going to write it down on both of our brains. So on one side, we are going to write Daniel chapter 2. So write Daniel 2. And our lesson is always have the mind of Christ. So write the same thing on the other brain. Daniel 2, always have the mind of Christ. So, whenever we look at these brains, we remember to always have the mind of Christ. Now, take that first long strip of paper. Now, this one is going to go over your head. So I need you to take your stapler and connect your brain to the end of the long strip of paper. So just staple it and make sure it's stable. So I'm going to staple on both sides so that it doesn't move. Okay, then I'm going to do the same thing with my other brain on the other side. Okay, so now we have our brain. And just so that we can be able to wear this, I'm going to fold it and put it over my head. So now whenever I see this, I'll see Daniel chapter 2, always have the mind of Christ. So you can take this and you can hang this around, and whenever you need help from God or anything, you need to remind yourself that you should always have the mind of Christ. Just take this piece of paper, wrap it around your head and say, always have the mind of Christ. So this has been our lesson for today and our craft for today. So until next time when we see what happens to Daniel and his friends. So until then, bye.